Do you wish you knew exactly how to cure your broken heart? When you hear people say things like, you gotta heal first, just heal, baby, heal. Are you still confused what healing really consists of? Well, let's help put an end to all of that confusion and misery. On today's show, we're going to be discussing how to cure your broken heart. That way, you can finally stop dragging around all of that extra baggage from your previous relationships. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so I know you're here present and actively participating. Welcome all of you beautiful souls. How are you doing today on Tuesday afternoon for me, maybe Tuesday night for you, and maybe Wednesday morning? Yes. Okay. How you doing? Okay. I see we got Sharice over in the TikTok chat. I believe I seen SH as well. I see Chan. I saw Scotty earlier. Scotty's present. I see Day. I see Brown Sugar. I see Fabian. I see Ali. Who else we got over here? I see over in the YouTube chat, we got Tracy Niles. I believe Tracy Niles was even number one to come and hop on into the YouTube chat here today. Of course, we got Ivy, our most amazing channel member. And of course, we got her twin, which is Ashley, another one of our beautiful OG members. And Enlightened Nate is here. I see Special K. I see Melita. I see lots and lots more over in the YouTube chat. Irina, and of course, Electric Feel. Okay. Welcome all of you beautiful people. So glad to see you here. And of course, the lovely Missy America holding it all down for us in the YouTube chat. All right. Now, let's discuss today. We're going to have a very serious day. I know for some of you, this might be a sad topic. It's okay. We might get a little sad here. We might reminisce here, but this topic is going to help you. And hopefully it can be like a version of therapy for you to give you some real strategy here, because everyone talks about healing, and that kind of makes me mad. I'm not going to lie to you. This is part of the reason why we're discussing this topic today. Everyone talks about, trauma and getting over trauma and healing after a breakup and things like that, but nobody actually gets into specifics of what healing is supposed to mean. Okay. That makes me mad, because I know when people are hearing that, they're just thinking, okay, should I just sit down in my chair and listen to music? What am I supposed to put a Band-Aid on my forehead? What does healing mean? Okay. So let's hop into it. All right. So number one is going to be to disconnect. Now, I want you to understand everything that I'm talking about is going to come in a strategic order. So remember how I make fun of you guys sometimes because I say you're doing the order of operations wrong, right? There's an order of operations to this in order to get the result that you desire, which is obviously to heal, quote unquote. And if you're going to get this right, then you have to make sure you're doing these order of operations wrong. If you do one before the other, and you'll probably notice one of your mistakes when trying to do this has been doing the order of operations wrong. When you do some things before the others, or you do some things before you're ready to do them, you're going to put yourself between a rock and a hard place, because you're going to find it very difficult to actually work yourself through the situation mentally and emotionally if you haven't done the order of operations right. So number one is to disconnect. Now, specifically, what am I talking about disconnecting from? Of course, yes, you want to be disconnecting from your partner. That should be a given, or sorry, I should say your ex in this scenario, if we're talking about curing yourself from a broken heart. Let me address this, though, because I know some of you are making this mistake, and it's a grave mistake to make. I need you to understand that if you are in a relationship or a situationship, a talking stage or whatever, and it has come to its end, meaning that this is no longer going to ever end up in being a serious long-term relationship, and all in all, this situation, this relationship, this person no longer serves you, right? Whether it be that they're your baby father and you guys have broken up, whether it be that was once your boyfriend and things just didn't work out and now you guys have broken up officially, whatever the situation may be, the relationship has run its course. I need you, very important, that you disconnect yourself totally from that person. The reason I say this, and I know when I say it, you're going to be like, what? Tomisin, that's so obvious. I mean, could you not tell me some real quality information here? That's information that everyone should know. Of course, if you're going to cure your broken heart, you got to disconnect from the person who broke your heart. It seems obvious in theory, but when you actually think about your life or the situation that you're in, for a lot of you, or at least some of you, you might realize that when I say disconnect, and I say disconnect totally, you haven't actually totally disconnected yourself from the person who actually broke your heart. So how can you ever heal from the situation when the person who broke your heart is still actively in your life? Okay? Or halfway in your life, or partially in your life, whatever you want to do. We're still friends. We're still cordial. We're still cool. We share the same friend group. See, a lot of you are so uncomfortable, being uncomfortable, or uncomfortable, cutting things off or setting boundaries, that even when you realize that a relationship that you were in is no longer serving you, right? The boyfriend that was once your boyfriend is no longer your boyfriend. You still have issues just saying, okay, whether you text me or not, you're not getting a response from me. Whether you call me or not, you're not getting a response from me. Whether you attempt to reach out to me and be kind to me and be nice to me, I've seen this game over and over again. It's just a circle of you treating me horribly, and then you come back, you apologize for a bit, you make it seem like everything's going to be okay, and then you get back with me and you just treat me horribly again, right? So when he does that, you already need to have in your mind, this is over. I'm disconnecting myself from you. See, the reason I wanted to mention this first is because none of this works. None of this strategy works if you're still texting that guy. None of this strategy works if you're still answering his calls when he calls you. None of this strategy works if you're still going to see him in the friend group when this is the guy that literally broke your heart. Let's get it together here. How can you possibly work yourself through a situation when the person who was involved with the situation that you're trying to work through, you're still actively seeing, actively speaking to, and actively spending time around? And remember what I told you about how guys will recognize their power over you emotionally and spiritually. And a lot of times guys are going to come back into your life, not even necessarily because they want to build with you, but just to exercise their power over you. I know it sounds and makes men sound horrible, but I just want you to understand that it is true. People are not always going to come back into your life for the sake of, I just want to treat you right now. Sometimes people are going to come back into your life because they feel like you're moving on. That's painful to them. That's an ego hit to the guys to see you moving on or trying to move on. And they're going to say, no, I'm going to come in and literally throw a wrench in everything that you've been working on and trying to build in terms of trying to move on from me. I'm going to throw a wrench in it by saying something, telling you how much I love you, telling you how much I miss you, telling you how much I want to get back together with you, knowing that that's going to throw you for an emotional whirlwind. And now all the work that you've been doing is going to go out the window because now you're going to be entertaining and focusing on me once again. And then you continuously just start from ground zero. And I'll be honest with you, some guys that are accustomed to being able to have that level of control over you, they don't want to give that up easy, and they don't want to see you moving forward from them. I know that it sounds very toxic, but let me just tell you the honest to God truth. Some men in your life, right, that are used to having that control over you, they do not want to see you moving forward where you're over them or where they don't no longer have any effect over you. So let's just get that down. In order for you to cure your broken heart, you have to disconnect, especially from the person that puts you in that position, that broke your heart in the first place. You can't have halfway friends. This is why I always tell you, all this stuff where you're thinking that we all hold hands and sing Kumbaya and everything's rainbows and sunshines. And, he's my friend because we're in the same friend group and I like to keep it friendly and I like to keep it cool and I don't want to have any problems or cause any forget all of that. What's more important is your own happiness and your own sanity. And you're never going to be sane if the person who broke your heart, you're actively speaking to and seeing on a regular basis. Even if that's your baby father, okay? You need to be cutting that off where there's a clear line. See, clarity helps you. Confusion hurts you. I want you to never forget that. Clarity is what will always serve you, the woman. Confusion is what will always hurt you, the woman, because you're the one that's more inclined to be emotionally attached and emotionally invested. So I say that to say, even if that's your baby father, there has to be a line, right? And that line has to create clarity in your life and in your emotions and in your spirit. where you say, you're the father of my child. You speak to me and I speak to you across everything that has to relate to our child. Everything outside of that, I'm not concerned with. I'm not concerned about you being comfortable. I'm not concerned about how you feel towards me. I'm not concerned about what you say about me. Anything that doesn't concern our child is no concern of mine. Okay? And so you have to be thinking about your life like that, especially if you're in a position where you can't necessarily just totally abandon the person and block them and never speak to them, right? You have to be able to draw a line that creates clarity for yourself. Sorry, I was going to say for him, for yourself, so that you can properly disconnect, because that's the first step, disconnecting from that person that broke your heart. Now, the second step when it comes to disconnecting, you actually, and now this is where, listen, I'm going to warn you, everything we're going to discuss today is going to be slightly painful and uncomfortable for you to hear, because a lot of the things that I'm going to advise you not to do is probably a lot of things that other people advised you to do. Okay? I won't lie to you. So when I tell you to do these things, or I tell you that this is the strategy, you're going to feel sad because this isn't the fun way to cure a breakup, right? This isn't the, the hot girl summer way to cure a breakup. You're not going to be driving the boat to cure your breakup. This is going to be full of a lot of silence, a lot of self-work, a lot of not having a whole bunch of people around to distract you, and a lot of focus on you. This is the most painful way to cure a broken heart. But this is honestly and truly the only way to actually cure it. I'm not going to give you advice that is fun. I'm not going to give you advice that makes you feel good or you would want to hear. I want to give you advice that will actually help you in your situation. Okay? Sorry. If you want to hear me tell you, go drive the boat and go down a bottle of Casamigos with your girlfriends and shake your booty on a yacht, I'm not your guy. Because truthfully and honestly, I don't think that's going to help you. Maybe I'm an idiot, but from what I've experienced in my own life and my own perspective, that's not actually going to help you cure your broken heart. It might help put it on pause, but it won't help cure your broken heart. So when I talk about disconnecting, very important, I'm also talking about disconnecting yourself from connecting with new people. Hold on. I know you're probably confused, and I know you're probably like, what are you talking about? Here's the thing. A lot of people are going to tell you, and especially even your friends are going to convince you that the first thing, this is why I say there's an order of operations. Your friends are going to try to convince you that the first thing you should be doing after your breakup or after you're suffering from a broken heart is to go right outside. You're outside now. You back outside. You go to the club. You with the girls. Y'all down in a bottle of 1942. You in your favorite promoter's booth. You hitting up all the promoters. You going to every club. Now you going out on Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday night. Right? You going out on Fridays too. You heard that Glorilla song? It's 7 p.m. Friday, 95 degrees. I ain't got ain't got me. Yeah, you singing that. You singing that word for word now. You damn near screaming it when it comes on in the club with you and your girls. Going out, in the summertime now, you shaking your booty on a yacht. You feel good about yourself. You driving a boat down in that Casamigos. Demon time, right? No. Okay? The reason I say that is because you have to, when you're actually trying to serious about curing your broken heart, you have to, the first step in the order of operations, you need to disconnect yourself from the person that broke your heart, yes, but also from new people and new energies, right? Because a lot of people are going to convince you that the first thing you should do is start meeting new people. Meet more new people. Go outside. Meet as many people as you possibly can, because connecting with new people is going to help you get over the old person. No, that's not actually how that works. When you go outside thinking that I'm going to connect with new people to forget about the old person, this is what ends up happening. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I'm going to tell you, this is what usually ends up happening. You're going to go outside connecting with people before you're even ready to connect with people, having not even worked through any of the emotions or feelings or thoughts that you had of the previous relationship. You're going to attempt to connect with new people. In the process of connecting with the new person, you're going to find this, and this, maybe some of you have experienced this. You're going to find that you tend to project a lot of the feelings that you once had for that person onto a new person. You look for one particular person, right? And what I mean by that is when you get out of a breakup, right? Or even if it's been, a couple of months, but the relationship lasted for a long time, you had a lot of love for that person. You had a lot of love towards that person. Okay. And so when you get into when you start meeting new people and connecting with new people, you're more inclined to put all of that same love and investment that you are used to having with someone into a new person that you don't even know and hasn't even earned that amount of investment. Why? Because, for example, if you spend 3 years in a relationship with one guy, you can only imagine how many situations you will go through with that guy. Now, let's even imagine in the span of that 3 years, for 2 of those years, you guys were living together. So now you're seeing someone every single day. You guys are sleeping together damn near every single day, if you have a high libido, and he does, right? And also, that becomes like your support system that you see and hear and spend time with every single day. So you can only imagine what it would be like, what a emotional shock it would be for you to go from seeing someone every single day, being intimate with someone every single day, to no intimacy at all, no connection at all, not seeing a whole bunch of or a particular person all the time at all, right? And so naturally, when you go out and you try to connect with new energies before you're even ready, you immediately say to yourself, I want to have that same level of investment with you as I once did with someone else, because I'm used to what it feels like for myself to be in love. I'm used to what it feels like for myself to be this invested in another human being. It's not unnatural. It's actually the natural way to feel when you get out of a breakup, right? And when you're suffering from a broken heart, you want to still feel in love. You want to still feel like you care about someone that much. You want to still feel like you're that invested in a relationship. That's like your natural state now. That's become your homeostasis, is to have those feelings of love and compassion and passion into someone and in a relationship. That's where you're regular at. So now you're feeling irregular because you don't get to project those feelings onto someone. So then you go out and you meet someone new and you project those feelings onto that person, or in some horrible cases, and I really mean this, in some horrific cases, you project those amount of feelings onto a whole bunch of people. Right? So you go out and you try to start dating and meeting a whole bunch of people, and you're emotionally invested in those people who don't know you and haven't shown you anything, the same way you would be in a boyfriend. It's the same reason why sometimes you guys find yourself giving a whole bunch to a guy that you just met, when if you were to look back on it, that guy hasn't done anything to earn any of those things. It's not because you're a bad person, but your natural inclination is to jump right into investing in him the same way you would do a boyfriend. And you're not patient enough in your spirit or in your emotions to be able to pace yourself as a natural relationship should build and escalate over time. Are you following me so far? Right? Very important. So the reason I say you must disconnect is because I know that this sucks. And I know, like I said, this isn't the fun strategy that you get to go out and you get to drink a whole bunch of Casamigos. Disconnecting from new energies is what's going to keep you sane, that you can actually start digesting what just happened in your past relationship. And I really mean that. Don't let your friends and your loved ones might even be aiding you in this mistake of convincing you that the first thing you should do is go out and connect with a whole bunch of new people, right? You're not actually, because this is the thing. When you end a relationship with someone, especially someone that you've been invested in for months or years, right? Lived with them, gone through a whole bunch of experiences with them, gone through ups and downs with them, you're going to feel like, right? You obviously shared a whole bunch of memories with them. You're obviously going to have a whole lot of feelings towards that person. But you have to understand, when that relationship ends, that's like someone passing away. You understand? Because they're no longer a part of your life how they once were. The same way, if someone passed away, that was a really intricate part of your life, and they're gone now, it's like poof, they're just gone into thin air. But here's the thing, is that you have to actually have a grieving process, the same way you would grieve a loved one who passed away. You have to grieve that relationship and that person no longer being in your life. But if you don't properly grieve that person and that relationship, all you do is you put those feelings on pause. So when you go out and you reconnect with new people, right? You meet a whole bunch of new people, you go out to the club, you get a whole bunch of numbers, get a whole bunch of IGs, you start talking to 10 guys at once, you keep your roster so crazy that your head starts spinning, you can't even remember guys' names that you're talking to and which guy is which. All you're doing is not grieving the relationship. You're putting all of your feelings that you had for the one that broke your heart, you're putting those feelings on pause. You just hit pause. And 100% of the time, as soon as those guys in your roster aren't around, or as soon as the old guy comes back around and says a couple words to you, you're going to melt like ice cream on a hot summer day, because your feelings haven't actually been grieved. Your feelings have just been put on pause. So anytime you get even a little bit of silence, or anytime some of the people on your roster are acting up, or you don't have someone to run to, literally your mind is all over the place and jumbled. You need something to stimulate you just so you can forget about your feelings. And you'll notice over time, it'll become increasingly more painful to have any sort of silence in your life where you actually have to feel those feelings. Because every time you have some silence or have some stillness, those feelings that you had that were meant to be grieved will just hit play. And you'll be like, oh, my brain, my head, I can't think of this anymore. I got to go out and get drunk. I got to start smoking weed. We got to go out with the girlies. I got to do something. I got to just get rid of, I can't be by myself. I can't be in this quiet room. I can't sit down. Give me something to not think, right? And what's going to happen is you're constantly going to be searching for pacifiers. Yes, I called it a pacifier, because you're going to want something to prevent you from thinking. I know it sounds silly, right? You're going to want something to prevent your thoughts from moving in your mind, because your thoughts are going to be painful. Your thoughts are going to be going through memories. Your thoughts are going to be going through all the emotions. Your thoughts are going to be going through everything that's ever happened in that relationship. And every time you start having those thoughts, you're going to want to run away from them. So you're going to say, please give me something to pacify myself so I don't have to think about this. Anything. And you'll run to whatever, this is the thing, whatever ends up pacifying you the best and getting rid of or distracting you from those feelings or emotions the best is the first thing that you'll run to. And for a lot of you, this is not to say that you're a bad person. I just want you to realize where the mistake lies. For a lot of you, the first thing that you run to when your heart's been broken by a boy is another boy. That doesn't work out for you, and it never will. The last, look in my eyes, okay? I really mean this. The very last thing you should ever be running to when your heart has just been broken by a boy is another boy. It will only make things worse. And like I said, I know that this isn't the fun strategy. I know that this isn't the strategy that you wanted to hear. I know it doesn't sound like it's 95 degrees. I ain't got no, and no nigga ain't got me. I know it doesn't sound like that. But the reality of it is, if you actually want to work through it, you got to do it this way. And this is the painful way to do it. And you got to do it in a particular order. Now, that doesn't mean that there won't be a time period for you to go outside and have your fun and enjoy yourself. There will be, and we're going to get to that. However, there's an order of operations before you get to that point. Okay, because you're not going outside to distract yourself. You're going outside to remind yourself. We'll get to it in a little bit. Okay, don't worry. All right. So number one was disconnect. Okay. Someone says, how long do you wait? We're going to get to that as well. Okay. The order of operations is first to disconnect. Okay. Now, the second thing, now this is action that you have to take, because disconnecting is a little bit more, I guess you could say, abstract. The second thing is a direct action that I actually want you to take. Okay. Now, number two is you need to write your story. Notice I said write your story. I didn't say write a story. I didn't say write something that sounds like your story. I didn't say something that sounds like someone else's story that you heard on the street one time. I said write your story. Okay. What you need to do, I want you to get your piece of paper out, get your notebook out. Or if you like typing, you're a typer girl, maybe you're a corporate girly and typing's your thing. You get your computer out, get your laptop out, or your iPad if you're an iPad kid. And you need to type out, and I really mean this. This is not a joke. If you're actually serious about curing your broken heart, you need to type out everything that happened in that relationship. I want you to go from start to finish, write everything that you experienced, every memory that you have, all the really amazing times and all the horrible times. I know you're thinking to yourself, Tomisin, I had a year relationship. Tomisin, my relationship was 2 years long. Tomisin, my relationship was 3 years and we lived together. That's a lot to write. Yes, it is. It's a lot to write. That is the entire point of why you're going to write. Okay? This is going to take you a while. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's a strategy behind it. The reason I want you to write it, okay, is because one of the major, remember I told you, when you are no longer in a relationship with someone, it's like grieving the person like they passed away in your life. Here's the thing though. Part of the pain that you experience when you have a broken heart is not feeling like you can just let it out. And what I mean by let it out is like, just say how you feel, right? Because even with your friends, you're going to kind of hold certain things back and they're going to put their own 2 cents in it. And, you know, sometimes you just might not feel like you get everything that you wanted to say off your chest. Even with your family members, you might tell them certain things and leave certain stories out, and you might forget to tell them certain things and forget to talk about this situation and that situation and give all the nuance, right? So you never quite feel empty is the word, right? And when I say empty, I just mean empty of all of the things that you wanted to address. You know, when you get into a fight or you get into an argument with someone, and you're bringing up points off the top of your mind, but you're so emotional that you kind of just say more stuff out of anger. But then when you're after the argument, when you're looking back on it and you're thinking back on it, you're like, oh, I should have said this. This was a really important point to bring up. Or, oh, I should have responded like this because I forgot about this example that literally exactly proved my point, right? And you're thinking of all the things you could have said that directly applied to this situation, right? And it makes you feel a little bit unsatisfied with that conversation because you feel like the things I should have said, I didn't get a chance to say, right? And that's frustrating. But that will also lead for you to being more frustrated with the relationship or the person whenever you think of them, because it will constantly make you feel like there's unfinished business. I still need to tell you this thing that's on my mind, or I still need to remind you of this thing that you did for me, or I still need to tell you about this situation or tell my friends about this situation. And I haven't gotten everything off my chest. I'm not emptied emotionally, right, of the relationship. I still have these lingering feelings that I want to express and I want to get out, but I haven't said them to anyone, so I don't feel like I've gotten them out. The reason you want to be writing this all down on a piece of paper is because you want to feel like there has been a place in your life where you have been able to say everything that you wanted to say. Get every thought and emotion about that person in the relationship out. Okay, so I want you to write it out, but I also, after you write it out, and as you're writing it out, right? So let's say you write down a page. I want you to also then read it out loud. Okay, this is going to be painful. You might shed a few tears, but reading it out loud, obviously you're putting it from your thoughts onto a page, so that makes it 3-dimensional. But then reading it out loud allows you to hear yourself talk about the situation the same way you would be talking about it to a friend, or the same way you would be talking about it to a therapist, or the same way you would just be sharing with someone, right? And there's something therapeutic about actually hearing yourself say out loud the words which are really just thoughts that you've had in your mind, and it makes it feel like you've emptied yourself of those thoughts. You understand what I'm saying? Emptied yourself of those ideas or those memories or those points that you wanted to bring up. And when you empty yourself of that, you kind of feel just a tad bit lighter. Right? And you feel like you got something off of your chest, something that you were holding in. The mind's a very strange place. You might not realize how much you were holding it in until you let it go and you realize how much lighter you feel. Okay? So writing your story is so important, and then also simultaneously reading out your story so that you can hear yourself talk about it. You can hear it out loud as if you're describing it to a friend. And I guarantee you, by the time you write all of these 10, 20, 30 pages, by the time you read it out loud, you're going to be like, damn, I'm drained. Okay. I wrote out every thought I could possibly had. I said, and I read it out loud. I basically said everything that I wanted to say. And so it's a great way to give yourself closure without needing the other person, right? Because the function of closure is to make you feel like, okay, I said all I wanted to say and got off my chest everything that I wanted to address. Now I feel like I can start moving forward. But for a lot of you, part of the reason you're suffering from a broken heart is because you don't feel like you've had proper closure. And in not every scenario should you be looking for closure, number one, but also number two, is it possible for you to be looking for closure? Some of you might break up with someone and part of the reason you broke up is because he left you for another girl. And you've just been left, in the dust with no answers. Or, he just walked away and he never spoke to you, or he blocked you. You have no way of contacting him. You just have, in general, no way of getting closure. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still feel as if you have closure by doing this strategy, right? Writing your story, writing and reading out loud your story. Okay. They both help you accomplish the goal of feeling like you just emptied yourself of all the emotions and thoughts that you were having of this and in this relationship and of that person. Okay. Am I making sense to you guys so far? Right? So very important that you write your story. Don't write no one else's story, and write that story in your own words. This is the amazing part about writing your story, right? Is especially when you're writing it and it's just you don't have to feel like, let me write it in a way that sounds nice. Or let me write my ex in a way that feels like I'm not dissing him, or feels like I'm not angry, or I'm not bitter, or I'm not hurt. See, the thing about it is when you write your story and it's just you writing the story and it's just you reading it out loud, you can say anything that you want to say. So if you want to curse 30 times because that's really how you feel and that's really what's on your heart and that's really what you want to empty yourself of, you can curse 30 times. If it goes, MFer, he's such an a-hole, I effing hate his guts, he's such a stupid B-word. Like, if that's how you really feel and that's how you feel like you want to empty yourself, go ahead and you empty yourself of that. You don't have to filter anything. That's the amazing part about writing your own story, is that because you're not communicating it to another human being, you don't have to be thinking about how it comes across. You don't have to be thinking about how it makes you look. You don't have to be thinking about, if it makes you sound bitter or angry or upset or hurt or any of those things that you'll do when you're sharing with another human being. Right? You don't have to filter any of it. You just give it raw and uncut. But that's part of what makes it therapeutic, is that what you put out on the page and then what you read out loud is however angry as you want to be, however upset as you want to be, however sad as you want to be. It's your choice. It's whatever is actually on your heart and in your spirit. Okay? So writing your story, very important. So number one was disconnect from the guy and from all of the other, disconnect from meeting new people, because you need some time to yourself right now. Number two is to write your story, okay? Right? Number three, now this is the part, this is no pooping time, okay? Everyone suck back in your poop if you've been pooping. I want you paying close attention, because a lot of you do this part wrong. And like I said, there's an order of operations. If you do this part wrong or you don't do it at all, none of the other parts of the strategy will work. And I know this is where you're all going to mess up. Number three is to take out the trash. Okay? You take the trash out. Now, the reason I say a lot of you are not going to be doing this properly or even doing it at all is because I know you. Me and you were very close, okay? We spend a lot of time together. I know that it's painful for you to get rid of memories, right? You want the memories to be like a memento of everything that relationship was. You spent 1 year with the person, 2 years with the person. That was my person for a bit, and I just want to remember what it was like to be loved and look back on those pictures. Look back on those memories. You must listen to me. Listen to me. This is so important. You must take out the trash and get rid of all the mementos, get rid of all the memories, get rid of it all if you actually want to cure yourself of a broken heart. I know this is probably the most painful part of the process, and this is also the part that you don't want to hear. I know that that's not the part that you want to hear. You wanted me to tell you to go shake your ass on a yacht. This is the most painful part of the process, because this is actually what will help you the most get and work yourself through this relationship, right? When you actually take out the trash, and I mean like when you actually get rid of the memories, that is a physical representation of what you're mentally doing, right? Which is moving forward and allowing that situation to just be in the past, not something that you continue revisiting. Because every time you look at those pictures again, you're revisiting that relationship. Okay. Every time you have him on Snap memories, and it says 1 year ago today, and it's a video of you and him cuddling in bed, you're revisiting that relationship when you're supposed to be moving forward from that relationship. Okay, you need an opportunity for yourself to be able to move forward, and you don't give yourself a chance. You really don't. You make it so much harder for yourself to move forward when you have all of those memories at close, all of those past situations ready to hit you in the face as soon as you start feeling good about yourself. Okay, because I can assure you, if you don't delete the videos, it's going to pop up on Snap memories, and it's going to hit you in the face when you were actually forgetting about it and moving forward. If you don't actually block or remove him, then you're going to see him pop up on your timeline when you least expect it, and you're going to be sent down a spiral. If you don't actually get rid of his clothes, then you're going to accidentally be cleaning out your closet, and you're going to get his sweater, and you're going to smell a whiff of him again, and you're going to feel like you should text him. All of this makes it that much more painful and even much more impossible for you to actually cure yourself of your broken heart and start moving forward. Because every time you're going to start trying and attempting to move forward just an inch, you'll be brought back into the darkness and the depths of despair, only to spiral again. So let me be very specific for those of you who, need direct examples. That means this is where it's going to hurt. You're going to delete every message and text conversation that you've ever had. I know that this puts you in pain. I know you like to reread those texts. I know you like to look back on those pictures and that thread, the memes that you guys used to send each other, or what he was talking about that one day. Delete all of the text conversation, all of the WhatsApp conversation if you talked on there, all of the Instagram DMs if you talked on there, everything. Okay, all of it, all of those conversations. Okay, don't save any of it. If you had him on Snap and you were having conversations with him on Snap, I want you to unsave all of those conversations on Snap, so that even if you were ever to open up his Snap thing again, which you should have him blocked, but just in case, if you were to ever open up his Snap thing again, none of that conversation is there. It's gone, poof, in the wind forever. Okay? So number one is deleting all the conversations. Number two, thing that you need to get rid of. I'm not dumb. I'm not a dumb. You need to get rid in your phone all the photos. Okay, obviously that's a given. All the photos that you've taken of each other and with each other, all the videos. Here's the other key that I know some of you will forget. I even want you to go into your phone app and your photos app. Go into your albums, then go into the album specifically titled about screenshots. And I want you to go into that screenshot album, and I want you to delete every screenshot you took of a conversation that you had with him. Yeah, we're going deep today. We're going deep today. Those are the other things that will reel you back in. Not just the photos and videos of him and you, but also the screenshots that you took of your conversations with him. I know that you take screenshots whenever he complimented you or he said something really nice to you. or something that you wanted to be a memory. I also know you take screenshots of the not so good moments that you had or the arguments that you had back and forth. I know that after a relationship is over, you have tons of screenshots of conversations that you've had with each other on multiple different social media platforms. I'm not a dum-dum. I'm living my life how you're living your life. I know some other people that give you relationship advice, they might be a little bit older and a little bit more removed from everything that we're going through right now, so they don't mention this type of stuff. But this is the type of stuff that will trip you up, and I know that because I've experienced that. I'm you, me, you, me, okay? Right? World even says screenshot us of him on video calls. That's another thing. When you guys are on FaceTime or just video chat in general. I don't know, how do people on Android video chat with each other? Anyways, however you guys video chat, right? And you have screenshots of that or those moments, delete them. Get rid of those too. So make sure when you're going through your stuff and you're getting rid of those memories, you're deleting those too. Now, obviously, it's a given. I seen someone say it earlier. It's obviously a given you delete the recently deleted, okay? That should be like 101, okay? Deletion 101. Delete the recently deleted. Now, for those of you who are Snapchat addicts, you posted a story with him, right? Or you just saved some things, some videos and pictures to Snap. Go ahead, go in your Snap folder and delete those too. Why? That's another place where you can find memories. And also, even worse, Snapchat is going to literally tell you 6 months ago today, you and him were together making out. 1 year ago today, you went on this date to this place. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the worst version of bringing things back up. So please go on your Snapchat and delete any of the pictures or videos or screenshots or any of that stuff that's on Snapchat, because those are the things that are going to pop back up and you don't want to be in a world of pain if you're a Snapchat person, okay? Right? If you have any folders, including Snapchat, where it's like the hidden folder, right? And you have some, you know, maybe you got some movies that you guys made together, you and him in the bedroom. Don't get me mad. Those better be deleted. I don't care if that's your favorite thing to watch and get yourself turned on by. Get rid of those immediately. Get rid of those immediately. Get rid of those immediately. Don't keep those. Okay? Very important. Now, I'm going to give you some 2024 technology here. Also, go into your iCloud or go into your Google Drive or your Google Photos, because you have to understand some photos that are not on your phone will have been saved. If you've been in this relationship for a long time, may have been saved to your cloud. This is 2024 stuff, okay? And in your cloud, there might still be remnants of different photos and videos and memories that you had together that aren't on the phone, but they're saved in your cloud underneath your email account. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to go through that and delete it as well, okay? I'm trying to cover everything so that you never miss a beat here in terms of deletion, because this is one of the number one things that will trip you up and that will hurt your ability to actually move forward. So I'm trying to cover everything, right, in terms of deletion, and there's a lot of digital footprints here that will make it harder for deletion, okay? You took TikTok videos together, delete those too. Delete them off your phone and delete the drafts of them, all right? Now, when it comes to, that is the digital side. When it comes to things that are a little bit more physical, obviously get rid of pictures that you've taken together, any Polaroids. Also, very important, get rid of clothing items. I need to really address this. Get rid of those sweaters, okay? If he's not, this is the thing. A lot of you are trying to hold on to the clothing items because you're like, oh, I don't want to throw all this clothes away, so I'll just hold on to them until I can return them to him. Don't get me upset. That is like the number one way to literally put yourself in pain, not feeling like this situation is actually over because you're like, oh, I still need to return his stuff to him. No, you don't. Because if he left his clothes at your place for 1 year or 6 months and he can't even remember what clothes he left there, then there's a good chance he doesn't need them that badly. Donate them to Goodwill if you want. If you want to just not throw them away. But they need to go into a trash bag. Very important. They don't just go in a trash bag and then go in your closet. Some of you are thinking, oh, I'll just put them in a trash bag and I'll put them in the corner of my closet so that I don't see them. No. Because when you're clearing out your closet, they're going to still be there. You need to put them in a trash bag and you need to donate them. Either you throw them in a garbage bin or you donate them to a donation bin where you just drop them off and they're gone. You can't access them. Okay? Very, very, very important. Get rid of all the clothes. Get rid of any of the personal items. If he left his toothbrush at your place, get rid of that too. If he left his boxers there, get rid of those too. Don't be smelling his boxers, his socks, even stuff that like maybe fits you, right? Maybe he's your similar size and you can actually rock that or wear that. Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Okay? Right? I want you to be getting rid of everything. Now, also, the clothes is that. Photos, videos, that's that. The other thing that you really need to get rid of when we're talking about taking out the trash, and I told you I need to be very specific because I know if I'm not very specific, some of you will say, but what about this? But what about that? But what about the eyelashes that he bought? I also want you get rid in your life of anything that will remind you of him heavy. If he had his favorite snacks at your place, get rid of those. If he has, his favorite, cereal at your spot, get rid of that. Okay? Music that you guys listen to, a playlist that maybe you guys created together, get rid of that. All of that stuff that's just going to put you down a dark spiral, you got to get rid of. If you're going to cure yourself of broken heart, you got to get rid of it. You got to. Because all of that stuff is going to make you spiral and it's not going to make it easy for you to properly move forward. Because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to cure yourself of a broken heart so you can move forward. Okay? Right? Marita says, get rid of our kids. Obviously, you can't get rid of children. Those are human beings. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get rid of everything else that doesn't consist of the children. Okay? Your children represent the fact that you guys created a human being. Now, there's a separate thing of memories that consist of your relationship with him. So you can get rid of the memories that resemble your relationship with him, but you don't have to get rid of the children. They're human beings there, and they're probably pretty awesome human beings. Okay? Right? So taking out the trash, very important. Taking out the trash in all ways, right? Not just the photos, also the memories, also the clothing items, everything. Okay? Anything that could possibly trip you up and have you in a position where now you're emotionally weak, or now you feel like, oh, maybe I should just text him. Maybe I should just call him. Maybe I should just whatever, right? Grace said money receipt messages. Yes. Anything, any document, even with his name on it, assuming you guys don't have children or anything like that, any document with his name on it, get rid of that too. You don't need him. What do you need him for? You're you. He's him. He can keep all his documents to himself. Don't be keeping none of that stuff. If you emailed him back and forth, get rid of the email. If you share a Netflix account, this is the other thing. This is actually very important when we're talking about taking out the trash. Anything that you guys share together, if you're serious about curing yourself of a broken heart, you need to put the split there, okay? So if you guys shared a Netflix account, get rid of the Netflix account. Get rid of it off your computer, get rid of it off of your phone, and get rid of it off your laptop. Go get you a brand new Netflix account, okay? If you guys were sharing a bank account for whatever reason, let's just imagine you were, you're going to have to take whatever money is yours out of that bank account, go open you a new bank account, okay? I know this sounds like, damn, this is super extra. Like, do I really have to do all that? Yes. If you want to cure yourself of a broken heart, you cannot have anything bringing you back to that person emotionally, okay? Or else you will not be able to properly move forward. I need to drill this through your mind so that you never forget it. You have to give yourself a chance to move forward. If you don't give yourself a chance to move forward and you keep things tied to him, you'll never have an opportunity to cure yourself of a broken heart. You just won't have an opportunity, okay? So you have to be very, like Ann just said, you have to be a drill sergeant and be very, very meticulous with getting rid of everything, okay? Lady says, what if you share kids? The same thing applies. The only thing you keep around or the only thing you keep shared between you guys is anything that has specifically to do with your children. This is where you have to start being very intentional, especially if you have children with the person, in that saying to yourself, if this does not directly relate to our children together, right? I get rid of it. It is irrelevant to me. So what I say that to say, if you guys shared a bank account when you guys had children together and you were in a relationship, now you guys have children together, but you're not in a relationship anymore. It does not directly require you, for you guys raising your children, that doesn't directly require you to continuously have a shared bank account. You can still raise your children perfectly fine without having a shared bank account. So these are the part of the things you need to be thinking of. Can I raise my children and still give them a great life without necessarily, still having this connection with this person in this way? If the answer to that is yes, then you cut it off because that's not relevant to your children. So this is why I say you have to be very intentional and very meticulous, and you have to be a drill sergeant. You can't leave stuff on the table because it's like, I guess I won't deal with it. It's not that big a deal. I guess it's just a this, or it's just a that, or it's just a no. If the relationship is over and the relationship is done, you get rid of everything that relationship consisted of. All right. Excuse me. And you tie yourself in no ways back to that relationship in any way, shape, or form. Taking out the trash. Hyper important. I know that a lot of you are going to make that mistake. So that's why I needed to be super duper clear with you guys about what it means to take out the trash. So you disconnect, number 1. Write your story, number 2. You take out the trash, number 3. Now, number 4, this is when you've actually done some work, because trust you me, writing your story is going to take a while, okay? So that's already going to take you at least a couple weeks, right? Writing out your entire story. Taking out the trash, that's going to take a while as well. Now, once you've done that, you can actually start saying to yourself, okay, I now know what the relationship was. I've absorbed it. I've allowed it to pass through me, and I've accepted it to be what it was. That is now in my past directly. Now you can begin reconnecting with society and people. Here is the very important caveat. Listen very closely. Do not forget this. Don't mistake this. If you do this wrong, everything's going to fall apart. When you start reconnecting with people, I specifically only want you to be reconnecting with those who are close loved ones of you who want to see you happy. Okay? I'm going to start stuttering. I do not want you at this point reconnecting with new people who you have no idea what their intentions are or what they want with you. Okay? Do not do that. Do not do that. That is a mistake, because when you reconnect with people that you're unsure what their intentions are with you, then you don't know if the person you're reconnecting with even wants to see you happy. The person you're reconnecting with could literally want to see you as miserable as the person that you just tried to get rid of, and it's going to be a big mess. Okay, so this is the time where you identify who your real friends are, and you spend some time with those people. You identify if it's family that you're more close to, or if you have friends that feel more like family to you. It's going to be one of the two. Either you're going to have family that you're really close to, or you're going to have friends that feel more like family than even your family. Find those people. It's not going to be a lot of people, I'll warn you, and it shouldn't be. It doesn't have to be 30, 40, 50 people. It should only really be like 1 or 2 people. Right? Ivy just said your tribe. You reconnect with your tribe of people, right? Because you know those people want to see you win. Those people want to see you happy. And the reason you're doing this is because you want to remind yourself that you are loved and cared for. Because part of the most painful part of when your heart is broken is that you start to feel like nobody loves me, nobody cares for me, nobody looks out for me, nobody's thinking about me. Because look how this person who I invested all my time and energy into, look how they treated me. Look where I ended up on the side of the road, literally shriveled up and ran over. Right? And you're going to start feeling, it's going to start feeling like the walls are caving in on you, and like there's no way out, and like nobody's looking out for you whatsoever. So this reconnecting process is to help remind you that you are loved by people. And specifically, very specifically, I want you to be reconnecting with those people in person. Okay? The reason I want you to be reconnecting with those people in person is because I want you to feel the energy of people that care and love you. It's not enough to video chat them. It's not enough to call them on the phone. Okay? I want you to see them because, listen, I know it sounds really stupid and really mundane and really just dumb, but you have to understand the way we were built, whoever created us, however we got here, we work the best when we are with each other and around each other, connecting with each other in real life. I know that social media and the phones have made us feel like we can connect the same way over the phone as we do in person. But the reality of it is there will never be any substitute for the way someone else can make us feel when we're connecting with them one-on-one, in person. I see you. Not only do I see you, but I can feel you. I can feel your energy. I can feel your thoughts. I can feel it's like it's touching my soul. You're itching my brain. Right? And you must reconnect with people in your life that love you and support you and want to see you win, want to see you doing well. Because that's a reminder to yourself that I am loved, I am cared for. People, want to take care of me, want to be around me, and I am cherished. All that good stuff. Right? And this process is about reminding yourself of that so that you'll never forget it. Right? And so that you can begin building, because all of this stuff that you did was grieving the past relationship. Right? And this stuff that you're doing now in terms of reconnecting is building back your confidence within yourself and reminding yourself of who you are. I want you to be confident and I want you to feel like you're that girl, but that should come after you've grieved the last relationship. And see, this is why I say there's an order of operations, because a lot of people are first thinking about how they can boost their confidence by going out and talking to a whole bunch of people before they do the process of working through it and grieving the last relationship. Okay. So reconnecting was number 4. So we had number 1 was to disconnect. Number 2 was to write your story. Number 3 was to take the trash out. Number 4 was to reconnect. And number 5, this is when it comes time to really step outside. Now, and this is why I said there's an order of operations. Now that you've done the proper work to really digest your past relationship, empty yourself emotionally and spiritually of all of the things that the relationship consisted of, right? You've written out your story. And now you've taken out the trash, that literally and physically. So basically that was like the emotional and physical way of you grieving the relationship. And you've literally put it in the past now. And you started to reconnect with the people that love you and care about you. And you reminded yourself how great your life, how much people do love and care about you. Now that you step outside, this is the time to remind yourself how amazing your life is. Okay? You step outside and you go do things that you enjoy doing. And you remind yourself how freeing it is to go out and do and live your life and enjoy your life. Okay? And the thing about it is you won't feel like you're pacifying yourself, or you won't feel like you're trying to forget anything, because even in the moments when you're enjoying your life and there's just silence or there's just peace, you will still feel at peace within yourself. Because remember, because remember, during that period when you were writing your story, you were in silence. During that period when you were taking the trash out, you were in silence. You were disconnected. You were here focusing on you. So now that you go out and you step outside, you're not using stepping outside as a way to pacify yourself and suppress your feelings and emotions, right? You're going outside to enjoy your life again because you're ready to enjoy life again. And there's a lot more peace when you're going and stepping outside to enjoy your life because you're ready to enjoy life, as opposed to stepping outside looking for a distraction. Because when you're stepping outside to cure your broken heart and you're looking for a distraction or someone to distract you, you'll be looking for a very different type of person. Are you following me? Because when you finally step outside, I'm going to give you this direct example. Let's say for the sake of argument, in this example, you step outside before you do any of these other things that I mentioned. You're like, Tomisin, I don't really think that anything that you're saying really applies to me. I want to step outside before I write. I'm not going to sit down and write a whole bunch of pages. That's useless work. I want to shake my booty on a yacht. I want to get all done up, go out. I want to drink Casamigos. I want to down 1942. I want to be in my favorite promoter's booth. I want to be singing Glorilla. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga here, and he ain't got me. Okay? That's what I want to be doing. And let's say you go and you step outside before you're even ready for any of this other stuff. You don't even do the other stuff. What's going to happen is when you step outside and you're looking for something to distract you from feeling what you're going to be feeling, and specifically in your case, you're looking for another guy to distract you from feeling what you've been feeling, you're actually, this is the very weird part, if you don't do this right, you're going to be stepping outside looking specifically for a guy who can take up as much of your brain space and power as he possibly can. Because that's the thing that's going to distract you the most. Now, you're probably thinking, what's wrong with that? The thing is, when you're looking for someone who will be the best distraction to you, you're actually going to end up looking for the most toxic person you can possibly find. Why? Because the most toxic person you can find at that moment will be the person that requires the most thought power and attention towards, because they're going to be a roller coaster of emotions. You're going to be up one day, up in the clouds. You're going to be down in the dumps one day. You're going to be here with him one day. You're going to be here another day. He's going to be talking to this girl. You're going to be chasing around Scooby-Doo clues, trying to figure out who he's talking to, who he's messaging. You're going to be asking him this question. You're going to be interrogating him. You're going to be interviewing him. Everything is going to be a mad dash, right? And you're going to be constantly chasing him around, trying to figure things out. And he's going to be the most toxic person. But what does that also do for you? Because you're putting so much focus and effort into just managing this and maintaining this relationship with this new toxic person, what is it helping you do? It's helping to distract you from the old relationship that you once had, right? And the reason that ends up being what you're looking for is because you go out and you step outside of yourself looking for a distraction. See, a guy coming into your life being a healthy man or being someone who's like mature that can actually give you space or be understanding or, just relax with you and not give you a whole bunch of stuff to worry about. You're going to think to yourself, it's silent. This is weird. Why is it silent? Can you not make it be silent? Because now that it's silent, I'm literally thinking about my ex, and I'm literally thinking about all the things that we used to do, and I'm literally thinking about how much I miss him. Can you literally let's fight, let's argue. Look, come on, give me some drama. I need some drama. Who are you talking to on that phone? It's your coworker. I know you're sleeping with your coworker. Just tell me right now. And you're like looking like you need something to distract you, because that's what you're looking for. Because as soon as there's silence, remember, I told you, right? All of the things that you did before were in silence, were with peace, so that you can actually be at peace. That way, when you go out into your life and you step outside and you're reconnecting with people and you're looking for new relationships, now you can actually be looking for something that also gives you that same peace, because you don't need the distraction. Are you following me? Right? Right? I hope that makes sense. So says, Shira's advice is good here. If you can't handle it, then date more than one. Hey, if you feel like the best thing for you to do is to date more than one man, and that will help you cure your broken heart, more power to you. That's not my advice. I would never advise you to do that, because I think you'll be spreading yourself way too emotionally thin. But those of you that feel like that's the best way to go about your life, hey, I'm just a boy. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about, and maybe that's the best advice and way for you to go about your life, okay? But if we're here and you're asking me how I think the best way for you to actually cure your broken heart and get through the situation is, I would advise you to not be dating or seeing or sleeping or doing anything with anyone until you do all these first things first, right? And then when you finally do step outside, it shouldn't even be for the purpose of, I want to meet a whole bunch of boys. Okay. The purpose of you stepping outside should be because you want to remind yourself how good your life is, specifically without a boy in your life. Okay. So that means I want you to be stepping outside and going places that you want to go, not going places that I want to go because I want to meet more boys. See, you're not going to the club because you love the club that much. Let's just be so for real. Okay, you can hear the same songs played on repeat on a Spotify playlist. You play them in the speakers in your house. It's the same thing. You go to the club, let's be for real, because you want to meet more guys. Let's just call it what it is, okay? And so you need to start going places that you're not going to that place specifically just to meet more guys. You're actually going there because you enjoy that thing. Whether it be painting, art, karaoke, I don't know, whatever it may be, singing, band class, I don't know, playing the flute, playing the clarinet, maybe you're Squidward, I don't know, right? Whatever it may be, right? You go there not because I want to meet more boys and meet new boys. I go there because I actually enjoy this thing for me, because it helps to remind you my life is actually, it's actually quite good, even if a guy's not in my life. Huh. I'm actually, quite all right, enjoying myself, enjoying my friends, enjoying my life without having to have a boy in it. Not that you should ever adopt the mindset, oh, I don't need guys, I never need guys, F men. That's not what I'm trying to preach to you. But you do need to adopt the mindset that I would love to have someone amazing that will add to my life. But however, if I don't have that right person in my life that will add to my life in the way that I want it to be, then I'm not in desperate need to just lower my standards and have anyone in my life in any capacity, right? Very, very important, okay? So what is there anything about what we just discussed that is confusing still to you, okay? So we talked about these 5. Disconnect. Number 2 was to write your story. Number 3 was to take out the trash. Number 4 was to reconnect. And number 5 was to step outside. Does that make sense? Right? Cash Money says the club is not where you find a real man for a relationship. I agree. And it sounds obvious when we say it in the Players Club, but sometimes when this is the thing, and this is not to diss any of your girlfriends or friends or anything like that, but your friends are a lot of times they're going to hype you up and say, skip the order of operations. Don't do any of that silly stuff about writings, like Tomisin said, writing stuff down in a journal or typing it out. That's so stupid. Put on your tightest pair of pants, your tightest pair of jeans, put on your heels, and get yourself done up, put your Fenty Beauty makeup on, and let's go outside and shake our booties on yachts. Okay? And they're going to hype you up and make you feel like that's the right way you should go about it. But in reality, that doesn't actually help you accomplish what you're attempting to accomplish, which is cure yourself of the broken heart. You understand? Someone says, shake our what now? Yeah, they let's say I want to shake my ass on a yacht. That's what they say. Okay, does that make sense? Grace says, I keep seeing his car everywhere. I mean, similar models, advice. These are part of the things that you write down when you're writing your story. Like, write down your feelings, write down every thought that you've had, right? These are part of the things where, like you just mentioned, Grace, these are part of the things that you'll start to feel like you're holding them in. When you finally write them down, literally just say, I see his car everywhere. I see the exact model, and it reminds me of blank, 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 right? Let the thought and the emotion go, so you feel like you're actually telling it to someone, type of thing, if that makes any sense, right? Right? And I hope that makes sense. Now, do you guys have any questions about what we discussed? I know I went really deep into this, so I know it's a little bit more detailed than we usually go. Well, we usually go detailed, but this is extra detailed, right? That girl says, especially when you journal. Very true. Very true. But I also see journal is another one of those things where I know that if I just say journal, some of you will be like, well, what do I journal? What do I actually write in there? Right. It's another one of those vague statements that if people don't actually tell you and give you the strategy on what you should be doing, then it kind of just becomes a vague general understanding of what should I actually, put down in this journal. Right. Because if I say journal, some people be like, well, what do I write? What do I write about? How long should it be? What should I talk about? You know what I mean? And so I want to be very specific about what you put down and why you're putting it down. Right? Does that make sense? SH says, how to let go of the anger for him. This is part of why you write your story. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked when you write down your story. Right? Because in the process of you writing down your story, you're going to be writing down your thoughts, your feelings, and emotions about the things that you're writing, like in the story. And I want you to be doing that. So for example, if you're writing your story and you're going, I really, this one time when we went out to a restaurant, he literally didn't pay the bill and he made me pay the entire bill. And he said he forgot his wallet when I know he didn't forget his wallet. And it made me feel like poop. I'm really mad at him for doing that to me and humiliating me. That was supposed to be my birthday dinner and he made me pay for my birthday dinner. How could he make me feel like that? He doesn't even make me feel like a woman. Like, I want you to write down all of those feelings. Ramble on, yap as much as you possibly want. Okay. Yap until your hand cramps. Right. And then again, once you finish writing it, you're going to read it back out loud. Right. Because by the time you yap, you write it all out until your hand cramps, you're literally going to feel like you've emptied yourself of the emotion towards it, because you physically, right? You physically have been writing, which takes energy out of you, right? But also when you're reading it out loud and you're reading pages and pages and pages and pages, right? You feel eventually like I've said everything that I wanted to say. I said it how I wanted to say it. I said it as angry as I wanted to say it. I said it as mean as I wanted to say it. And you'll start to feel like every thought that I had, I expressed it. And I said it out loud and I heard myself say it. So I know it's real and it's there. And it'll stop having so much power over you when you feel like you've been emptied of it, because you just be like, okay, yeah, I see his car everywhere. I literally wrote 3 pages about how I see his car everywhere and how it really bothers me and all the emotions I've had on every single day that I saw his car. You'll be like, at a certain point, there's not much more for me to say now. I literally said it all in this thing. And anytime you think about it, you just be like, I already said every thought I had about it on this piece of paper. And I read it out until I was literally tired, right? And you just won't feel like you have anything left to add. And it will start feeling like something that, okay, yeah, it was a feeling and a thought that I had. And now I'm moving on from it. There's nothing left to revisit there. You understand? That's why I say you'll start to feel like you're giving yourself closure. Because once you express every feeling and thought that you've ever had about the situation, it starts to be, anytime you rethink of it, you'll be like, I already expressed every thought and feeling I had about the situation. It's the same idea as having an argument or a disagreement with someone. And let's say, just hypothetically, you were actually able to literally say every single point that you ever wanted to say in that argument or situation. Then when you think back to it, you're not going to think back to yourself, oh, I wish I would have added that. You'll just think back to yourself, I literally said everything that I wanted to say. So even if I still feel something towards it, like there's not much left to add. I added everything. It's already there, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Alchemy says, and that way you don't burden your friends with the same story over and over. Yes. 100%. I'm glad you mentioned that, Alchemy, because that's part of the issue with sharing it with someone else, even a therapist. First of all, with therapists, you're paying for it. So let's just be for real. Therapy sounds great in theory, that everyone should just go to therapy. That costs money. Okay. Now, secondly, when it comes to friends also have their own things going on. They have their own lives. They have their own relationship drama. So theoretically, yes, you can talk to your friend for a long time, but the same way, right? Your friend, you can only tell your friend so much before your friend goes, yeah, I've heard this story. Yeah, I know you guys went through this thing. I literally helped you through this thing. Yes, I know this is the 30th time you're telling me how mad you are at him for doing this to you. Yes, I get it. Let's go and let's do something else. And they're going to start saying, please, let's not talk about this anymore because I'm tired of talking about it. It's not because your friend's a bad person. It's not because your friend doesn't like you, but you have to understand, for the other person, after a while, hearing the same thoughts and feelings or words about the same person over and over again can get a little bit tedious. And you just want to avoid that and allow yourself to be able to express freely without the filter that you'll have to use whenever you're expressing a thought or feeling or emotion to another human being, right? Because you can't just spill every thought and emotion you've ever had to another human being, and give them the same 30, 40 pages that you would be writing and read it out to them. They're going to get tired of that, right? But with you can express until you're literally tired, until your hand cramps, until your mouth is dry and you can't read anymore. Okay? Then you really start to feel like I literally got it off my chest. Right? Ivy said, just use Discord. Interesting you would say that. And it actually is perfect timing. Because with that being said, it is time. It is time. It's a very special time. In the chat, can you please let me know what time it is? Can you tell me what time it is? I want to know what time it is. Here we go now. I want to know what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Here we go now. Chat, tell me what time it is. I want to know what time it is. Here we go now. I want to know what time it is. Chat, tell me what time it is. I want to know what time it is. In the chat now. What time it is. In the chat now. What time it is. Say it in the chat now. I want to know what time. I want to know what. I want to know what time. I want to know what. I want to know what time. I want to know what. I want to know what time. I want to know what. Tell me what time it is. Tell me what time it is. Okay, guys, it is indeed that time of the day where we hop right into our Discord, and we have a great, amazing time. Okay, so for those of you who are new and unfamiliar, we do this thing in the Players Club where we hop into the Discord and we share some stories and experiences that we've had in our situations or our relationships. And I answer them live on the show and give you guys advice, as well as the chat gives you guys advice live on the show. So this is a really amazing time, really fun time, and we're gonna have a good time with this. Okay, there's always something crazy in the Discord. All right, so we're gonna get started with, this is one from yesterday, so that I just wanted to clear that out. We're gonna get started today with Jalen. Okay, so Jalen says, I need help. Shake my head. Okay, so Jalen starts out by saying, hi Tomisin, thanks for your help. I've been stuck on an ex for the past 3 years. He was my first boyfriend and the only guy I've really talked to. Okay, he was the first guy to actually show interest towards me, and no other guy has done that. We still talk to this day. The main reason we're not together, according to him, is because of my emotions. He says I haven't changed enough for us to be together, pretty much stating it's my fault we're not together. Honestly, I think it's BS and I know it. I recently saw him. He went through my journals. Wow, we just talked about journaling. This is so weird how the stories apply to what we discuss. When I went to go do something, he read all of my emotional journal entries that I wrote, and I honestly don't know how to feel about it. Then after I told him he needs to let me go because he keeps dragging me along, he said he still loves me. And when we were recently together, he was treating me like we were a couple. We haven't talked in a couple of days after I told him he needed to let me go and I won't be reaching out. I want us to work, but I won't be putting in any effort to make it happen since I feel like I've done enough chasing in the past and I'm already embarrassed. Okay, at least the embarrassment will stop you. Is it just time to cut it off for good? Update, I still haven't spoken to him. I'm not sure why I'm not as emotional as I've been in the past, but I'm not complaining. Probably because you've been a part of the Players Club and it's not as painful when you're a part of the Players Club. But in all seriousness, Jalen, I think that you already identified what your issue was and why this relationship wasn't working out. I mean, based on what he said. But in reality, whether you think that that's the truth or not, or whether it's BS or not, it honestly is irrelevant. Because you have to understand, while there might be misunderstandings in your relationships, you have to accept the fact that if someone is telling you that they don't want to be in a relationship with you, there's not much left for you to do there. I know that it's painful to just say, okay, I guess I'm just going to have to move on. This would actually be a perfect show for you. But I know it's painful to just say to yourself, I guess I'm just going to have to move on. But the reality of it is that that's what you have to do. Because you can't say, well, no, I'm going to do this to convince you that you should actually want to be in this relationship with me, especially because you're the woman. So that's not what you should be doing in the first place. If he doesn't desire you or actually want to build this relationship with you, it's not even your place to be saying that's BS and I know it. So you're going to figure out how you're going to build this relationship with me or else. You know what I mean? Like, you can't threaten him to build a relationship with you. So like you said, there is nothing left for you to do. And there's no reason whatsoever you should be reaching out or chasing after him. If he cannot be bothered to put in any effort into pursuing you, then that is a clear telltale sign that he doesn't even have the intention to be with you in the first place. In which case, it's even better for you because now you're washing your hands of someone who didn't even want to be in a relationship with you in the first place. Rather than putting in a whole bunch of effort trying to get him to like you, and you're in this relationship, but you're only in it because you're doing all the work. That's even more painful than just being able to finally say, you know what? I'm moving on, type of thing. You understand? So you're doing what you need to do. And I don't think that you need to be contacting him for anything whatsoever. And I actually think if he contacts you, I think you leave it where it is. Okay. Next, here we have, let's see. Okay. Next we have PYT-ATL. Does PYT for you stand for pretty young thing? Pretty young thing, Atlanta. Okay. What is this ghosting thing all about? I'm 52, attractive, intelligent, and an independent woman, never married, no kids, also a caregiver to my mom who recently passed. I received many DMs from guys on social media, interesting, but no one stood out. He's 55, but one stood out. Sorry, I read that wrong. He's 55, never married, with a grown daughter. He showed interest and we began chatting offline. Wait, what? Chatting offline? Wouldn't that be... Okay. He was funny, loved to cook, and volunteer. We also bonded over our shared experiences of caring for our mothers with cancer. Also, sorry. We met in person and hit it off, spending weekends together. I hadn't felt that way in a long time. However, I noticed he wasn't as communicative as in the beginning. When asked about his past relationships, he mentioned it ended 3 years ago and due to his ex's toxic behavior. Quite convenient. This is something I just want to make a note of because I want all of you guys to be thinking about this. As you continue to become more mature and in your dating experience, obviously, as you get older, most people are getting married off and being in their relationships. Nothing wrong with getting older. But that's one of the main things you need to be thinking about when you get into a relationship and you're more on the mature side, is that you need to be thinking, okay, we're all adults here. Most people have kids and are married by now. So if you're not married or you're completely single, I really need to have a very clear grasp of why you're single up until this point. And I can 100% guarantee you there will be no truthful answer that consists of the only reason I'm single up until this point is because of everyone else. Everyone else in my life is the problem, and that's why I'm single up until this point. I can assure you, if someone tries to sell you on that, it's a lie. So you need to be discovered. That's the first thing you should be discovering if you're on the more mature side, because you need to be knowing what is not working out for other people that are in relationships with you that is making you continuously ongoingly single. Of course, in relationships, it takes two to tango. So there's probably some things that did get done to him. But the idea that it's all his ex or all his other partners is untrue. That's just a load of baloney. Okay. Despite this, we decided to be intimate and grew closer. Okay. He would bring me, flowers for me and my mom and cook for us, but his communication remained inconsistent. So maybe that's part of the thing that was making him single up until this point. Conversations about my mom's illness also triggered his emotions, causing him to shut down. I mean, didn't you say that you guys went through a similar situation? Maybe that's why. I asked if supporting me would be too much. He assured me of his support. Okay. One day he admitted he wasn't good at calling or texting due to being set in his ways. So now he's finally admitting to you probably one of the reasons why he's single. Okay. But this is one of the things that you should have been getting information on at the very beginning. Okay. But this is now you're discovering it. Okay. He also said that I needed to let things flow with us and he wanted to take some time to be alone because we were together a lot, which I obliged. So I started to see that I was the only one with invested feelings. Okay, so this is a perfect telltale sign that this man is not ready to be intentional with you. For whatever reason, he's not prepared for a long-term serious relationship. So now you're discovering that everything you're like continuing to push forward would only be a waste of your time. Because if you're going to be in a relationship with a man, he's got to be intentional about you. If he is, you said he is 55. If a 55-year-old man is, and this is not to age shame, but at that age, like, you got to start being intentional with your life. If a 55-year-old man is still telling you that he wants to go with the flow, I'm sorry to tell you, pretty young thing, ATL, this is not the relationship or the man for you. Going with the flow is not for men who are 55. He does not have enough time to continue going with the flow. Just going to be so straightforward with you. So if he's asking you to go with the flow, it's because he doesn't have a real intention behind him and of this relationship. Let's just be so for real. Okay? That's like 19-year-old stuff. At 55, you can't still be talking about going with the flow. Let's just come on. We both had travel plans for the following week. He kept in touch via text during my mom's services and gave me a pep talk on the day of the service. However, upon returning, he claimed he was too jet lagged to call. Okay. After several days without hearing from him, I reached out. Mistake. He responded saying he wasn't in a talkative mood due to dealing with deaths in his circle. See, the reason I say it's a mistake is because, like I always say, he has your number. He knows how to contact you. He knows where to find you. He knows how to message you. If he wanted to message you or get in contact with you, he would do that. So when you contact him instead, thinking that that's going to remind him of your existence, you only end up getting this from a guy, which is denial or pushback. You understand what I'm saying? Because he's not ready or he has no intention of actually speaking to you. I expressed my understanding, but was hurt by his lack of support. Days passed without contact and I felt abandoned. I sent him a final text expressing, this is the other mistake. When someone shows themselves to you as not being ready to build with you or being intentional about you, honestly, I know that you guys are nice people, so you feel like, to provide him with clarity, I should reach out and let him know my disappointment and let him know that I'm withdrawing. No, just withdraw. Allow the guys to feel that and decide for themselves if you withdrawing from them is painful enough that they'll address it and ask, to see what's going on with you. Sometimes you'll realize they don't even care that much. And that's honestly a good thing for you to realize because you'll start thinking to yourself, well, I'm just wasting my time even caring about this guy in the first place, right? I sent him a final text expressing my disappointment and his lack of empathy. He never responded and it's been over a month now. Wow. So he never responded to even your I'm withdrawing text. You see why I say it's a waste of time? Men ghost for months now. If they ever, that was a response here. So you said this is part 2 here. Part 2 update. So I still haven't heard from him. However, we are still friends on TikTok. See, this is another mistake. Why are you still friends with someone that has literally shown you that they're not even ready to take you seriously in a romantic relationship? What's the purpose of continuing to have an ongoing friendship with him? There is no purpose. And it makes you look like you're very weak and you're desperate to be with him, which is why you'll still allow him to be in your life partially when he's shown himself to not be anyone that, is really here for you. So I see him going on with his life, posting and all. During this grieving process, I find myself wanting to reach out to him. Please do not ever do that. Please don't ever. You know how it is when you vibe with someone you like a lot. But I know that would only make matters worse if I reached out. Plus, he would never give me the reason why he ghosted me at such a bad time in my life. Sometimes I wonder if he thinks of me and what he did was wrong because I didn't deserve this. I'm going to tell you something that's going to hurt your feelings. He doesn't. He doesn't. If he really cared about you that much or thought about you that much or felt bad about the situation, he would just reach out to you and apologize or not do that. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. I felt like I felt like I was non-problematic unless me inquiring, setting boundaries about his inconsistent communication, and or if he thought I would become too clingy after my mom's passing would be too much to deal with. Maybe that's why he did what he did. See, this is where you're in the territory of now because he treated you badly, right? Because he wasn't intentional with you, you start blaming yourself and thinking, what should I have done differently? Now, in your next relationship, you're going to be very hypersensitive to any time a guy expresses some disappointment with you, or maybe you do something that you think that he doesn't like what you just did. So now you're going to start becoming a pick-me-sha, where all of the time when you're in a relationship, if you don't want to be doing anything to upset that guy, make him angry, or do anything that, maybe he won't think is as attractive or want to be with you. So you'll be so scared to be yourself, because you'll be scared that being yourself is going to repel away the guys that you want. But the problem with that is when you're thinking like that, you're actually going to be even more repulsive, because you're going to be always being like, oh, please like me, please want to be with me, please want to spend time with me. Did I do anything wrong? Did I say something wrong? Do I offend you? What can I do to make it right? Right? And when you're in that mind frame, guys just say to themselves, ew, please get away from me. Please step away. They can't appreciate you. They can't desire you. They can't want to pursue you or chase you because you're too desperate and too needy emotionally. I've noticed some red flags within the 3 months of us talking, but of course I overlooked them because whenever I got a break from caregiving for my mom, I look forward to spending time with him. And even though we did only have pineapples twice, it was bomb. So you're demonetized as well. Okay, even better. That's like the cherry on top. Nice. But it was the intimacy that made it even more amazing. Because I haven't had that feeling in years. Of course, listen, I'm not telling you that it's a crime to feel good and feel close to someone. But this is part of the thing, is that because the intimacy was really good for you, you're allowing that to cloud your judgment and make you feel like I have to be with you. It has to be you. You're not thinking about I have to attract the type of man that I'm looking for that works for me in a relationship. You're thinking to yourself, no, now that I found you, it has to work out with you. So please let me know anything that I have to do so I can make this work out with you. And it turns you into a pick-me-sha, that mindset. It sucks major balls feeling this way because it seems so hard to bounce back from this. Sometimes I think even if he did apologize, the fun times we had would never be the same because it says a lot about his character and it would be hard for me to fake the funk. What are your thoughts about this, Tomisin? Let's hope that he doesn't apologize, because I'm fearful that if he were to ever apologize to you, because you're in this mind state, you will forgive him and allow him back into your life when he's made it clear he doesn't give a damn about you. I really want you to take in. This is why when people say, oh, communication is key, you got to tell a guy exactly what you want and tell him exactly how you feel, because people that say that you shouldn't tell guys exactly how you feel, those are toxic people. They're teaching you toxic stuff. See what happened to you when you came out and you told him why you're withdrawing, and you told him why you feel the way that you feel, and you told him what your issue is with him and why you have a problem with this and what he needs to work on. See what happened to you when you did that, when you were quote unquote healthy, when you went about it the non-toxic way. All he did was ignore your message. Isn't that something? People tell you how toxic it is and how non-communicative it is and how you should tell people exactly what you want and how you want it to be done and all that good stuff. Then you do that, and look how people treat you. He ignored you. Couldn't even be bothered to say, I apologize. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Couldn't even be bothered to defend himself. And, at the very least say, oh, you saw it like that, but this is what I really meant. That was not my intention. I meant to. He couldn't even be bothered to defend himself. He just left it where it is. Didn't give a damn about you or what you thought or what you wanted. The reason I say it like that is because I want you to realize what has happened here and what he has shown you by doing that. He's shown you how little he cares about you. And you're still to this day, watching his TikTok, being friends with him, and thinking to yourself, damn, maybe I should reach out to him. After that guy literally pulled down his pants and took a squat down and took a hot heaping dump on your face, and you're still thinking about reaching out to him as if he was doing anything for you. There comes a point where you have to have just an ounce of self-respect for yourself. Pick yourself off the floor and realize that if someone is going to treat you like that, there should be nothing nice you want to do for that person. I'm sorry, joining the Players Club is about realizing that the person you need to love the most is yourself. And the person you need to serve the most is yourself. Not that you should never be nice to people, but you should be nice to the people who are actually invested in you. Not the people who are treating you like garbage. Right? And that's, I think, part of how I come into your life, because I'm helping you all realize how some of the guys in your life are just treating you like garbage. They just honestly don't care. So then I ask you, why do you care when he doesn't care? Start caring about people that care about you, and stop caring about the men the most that don't give a damn about you. So pretty young thing, I'd advise you to get rid of him on all of your social medias. Not just because for you in your situation, unfollowing isn't enough. I don't even want you tempted. Block him. Block him on everything so that you're not even tempted to watch anything that he posts. Because the fact that you're even thinking about reaching out to him is a problem in itself, and you should never be reaching out to him again. Okay. Next here we have, let's see who we got next. Next is Samantha. Samantha says, what to expect? Buckle up. It's a crazy story, she says. By the way, thank you so much. Let me acknowledge this super chat here before we hop into this crazy story. Who was it that sent in a super chat just a moment ago? I can't find it here. But thank you so much. I know it was someone. I just forgot to acknowledge it. Thank you who sent in the super chat. I can't find it in my messages here, but I appreciate it. So what to expect? Buckle up. It's a crazy story. Okay. Samantha says, are you ready? I've been talking to this guy for almost 3.5 years. 3.5 years. And on and off situationship. Wow. 3 years of that. The first year, it was a mix of us seeing each other and texting online. Then he had to leave to study in America, so we tried to give each other space and not be too much on each other, but it was hard, so we stayed in touch as well, on and off. Until last year, we kept texting constantly to the point where it started getting serious, and he told me that he's an atheist. Okay. I respected it, but I made it clear that I wouldn't prefer to be with the person who doesn't believe in God. It's your preference, perfectly fine. So I had to go no contact with him for a couple of months for my own good. Okay, I'll just take a quick pause. If you know that you can't be with the guy who doesn't believe in God, why are you saying no contact as if no contact will either change your mind or change his? This is a fundamental difference in your beliefs. That's fine, but then that is literally a clear identifier that you shouldn't be spending any more time on this relationship. Let's go on. Then he sent me a 7-page document out of 32 pages talking about me. What? What are you talking? What? Chat, do you know what this is? What is she talking about here? He said that he loved authority and being dominant in the relationship. What are you 7-page document? What? Like he loved the high of it. Are you talking to Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey? Even though it made him feel like crap afterwards, and that was shocking for him. He also mentioned that I made him feel reborn since he never feels anything towards girls. He used to be an F-boy. He loved how I told him no to things. Funny guys. Remember I told you guys actually like the word no. They respect you because of it. It's like I challenged him. What did I tell you? He loved when I put him in his place, but he admitted he was hurting and that it's true. He did. His actions hurt me as well. Our situationship was just a toxic cycle. We both know it was. He also wrote me that me and his dad are similar because we expect him to check boxes to reach our standards. Nothing wrong with having standards, guys. Therefore, he kept taking from me since his dad wasn't doing that for him. Toxic, I'm aware. He went through depression, not eating and having seizures and harming himself. He took the blame for everything. He mentioned that he constantly was seeing my figure, hallucinating with a dull, sad face as if I was haunting him. It's getting weird. Last month, I finally saw him again in person after 3 years. We agreed beforehand that we will have to end things because this is unhealthy for both of us. There's a part 2 for this. After a couple of days of him arriving, I told him I wanted to say hi for 30 minutes, which I did, but he was acting weird and a B word and mean. It wasn't the way I wanted it to be. I yelled at him after about it because it was an a-hole move. He told me because I wanted you to hate me to make it easier for him to move on. I said I won't hate you. So we decided to meet up to say goodbye for good in person. How many times are you guys going to do the final goodbye? Good terms goodbye, which we did and it went well. He told me he loves me. And for the first time ever, I said it back. I love you too, but I love you more. Why are you guys doing this? You guys are really trying to make this like a teen drama for yourselves. He was like, I know during our time out, he showed me a scar and a burn of himself. He thinks he deserves it for what he has done to me. This is like, okay, I'm not dissing you, Samantha, but like he and you are really dramatic. Okay. You guys are doing like over dramatizing this. Okay. Until one day he calls and we both agreed that we want to spend more time with each other because we can't get enough of us, like a hangout. We met up again and it didn't end well because we got caught by a random group of gangsters that beat him up. And thankfully I escaped. So the issue had to reach our parents. No, we're not teens. What? Like gangsters beat him up. Why would gangsters beat up a random guy? What? Who is this? Is this Christian Grey? Okay. He then said he doesn't want to lose me and that he needs 2 years to work on himself. What is happening? And on God, truthfully, to be better for himself and for me because he wants to end things with marriage one day. Are you saying that he said on God? He doesn't believe in God. Why would he say on God unless you're adding that? My friend said that he won't really change. He won't. Like, what is this? The bad side of him will remain, especially that I'm a familiar person that is linked to his old self and that his love for me is destructive and not healthy. And that when he does change and I rekindle with him romantically later in the future, chemicals and hormones in his body will be released, the same ones that were released when I was with him and the toxic ones. And his old self will be back because I'm familiar to his body. Okay. She also said that is because his toxic feelings that he feels towards me are connected to the idea of me. Meaning when I go back to him, those feelings are going to be re-stimulated. I hope this makes sense. Basically, to summarize what you just said here, this relationship is not going to work out. I know that you want to analyze all the reasons that the relationship is not going to work out so that you can understand it better. The basis of it is you and him are not going to work out for multiple different reasons. That's perfectly fine. But then there comes a certain point where you just have to move forward. Okay, like this back and forth is so overly dramatic. I'm not dissing you. I know you're telling a story, but it's so overly dramatic unnecessarily when you've already identified for yourself that this isn't going to work out. First of all, what do you want? What do you think about how he feels about me? Is what my friend said true? Is it if it's meant to be, it'll be type of situation. What should I expect? Is there hope? I want to focus myself and go with the flow, but if she is right, then I'll have to walk away for good because I don't want him to revert to his old destructive self. What is this? Why'd you put a space there? Detail. He's been writing random statements in his Instagram bio. On calls, he doesn't sound like this. I asked him on a call, are you willing to give me space? He was like, yes, I can, but not now. What is this? After a day of calling him, he wrote, I can have me a good girl. Then changed it to, he put that on his bio. I can have me a good girl. Then he changed it to she better behave on his bio, like his public profile. What is this? This guy's way too overly dramatic. And then he changed it to I control you. What? Chat, is this not super overly dramatic? Then to, yeah, stop. Bro, what? It's like he's having a convo with himself in his Insta bio. This is weird. And honestly, I would run far away from a guy like this. This is really weird. Another important detail. I asked him, do I still remind you of your dad? And he was like, not anymore. How did it change all of a sudden? I thought that's a function of your personality. Another important detail. He unfollowed Instagram models and started praying. Yeah? He wanted to change his life, so he unfollowed the IG models and he prayed. He's prayed up now? Yeah, all right. Stopped watching corn, was trying to make a better relationship with his dad, and stopped wanking himself off. Without me asking to any of this. The whole thing is confusing. His Instagram bio isn't it because he's hates lying, so I'm sure he was honest about what he told me, but his bio isn't matching what he says, like he's reflecting everything on Instagram. Also, we planned to go no contact for the sake of us a long while ago and go with the flow. Chat, she didn't mention how old she is, but chat, let's all together, let's take a guess how old Samantha is, okay? Because honestly, Samantha, I actually hope that you're on the younger side, because this whole situation is extremely over dramatized for no reason. And I almost want to bust out laughing because the way you're describing this guy, I don't know if you're just describing him in an extra corny way or if he's really that corny. Either way, it's literally comical because this is so over dramatized. And like the guys that are this over dramatized usually can't even do anything in the bedroom anyways. Cause what is this whole thing with him posting stuff on his bio? I can have me a good girl. She better behave. Who does that? Who does that? This guy's either too full of himself or he thinks like life is literally a movie. I just don't think that you'll ever be able to build a relationship with someone who is like this over dramatized. Like you're the girl and you seem like you're less dramatized than he is. How is there ever supposed to be peace in the relationship when he's the diva? Okay. It's just stupid. It's silly. Samantha, you are, from your first paragraph here, you already, in the first few sentences, you identified why this relationship is not going to work out. He is an atheist and you can't be with a man who doesn't believe in God. This is the lesson I want all of you to learn here. Okay. When you're in a relationship, when you're building a relationship with someone and you're getting to know them, you're learning them, you're observing them, you're listening to them. If in the process of you getting to know them, things are going good, but you realize there is some sort of fundamental difference in the way that you guys think, the way that you guys go about life, or the morals and values that you both share. And you realize for whatever reason, because of those differences, you are really going to struggle having a relationship because it's not something that either of you can budge on. That is the exact moment where you say to yourself, this relationship is now over. Whether he's a good person, whether he's nice to you, whether he D's you down crazy, if there are fundamental differences in the way that you two go about life and the way that standing, it just is what it is. So there's no way around that. And there's no relationship there. You're only going to continue having that same issue. So for something like this, when it comes to he is an atheist and you can't be with someone that doesn't believe in God because you believe in God, it's done. And from there, you should have been like, cool, I don't care how many times you messaged me. Don't care how many times you call me. Don't care how many times you do anything. This relationship is done. Everything you did after that was a complete waste of your time. Even hearing him out about, what is this? He wrote a 7-page document out of 32 pages talking about me. What? This over-dramatized, I don't even know what to call him. Just, diva of a man that you're with. I'm sorry. This is just not going to work out for you. And you should have known that from the very beginning. And so I don't think it matters what he thinks of you. You asked that question earlier, right? In your message, what he thinks about you. It doesn't matter. You've already told me and told the rest of the show the reasons why this relationship is not going to work out. So why does it matter what he feels about you? It's irrelevant. Okay? You're not going to be in a relationship with him anyways. And like I said, you need to start being intentional with your life and with your relationships. If this relationship with a guy that you've been talking to isn't going to work out for whatever the reason, then you cut it off completely. We might have to have a whole show about how to cut things off completely. Because it seems like for whatever reason, a lot of you are struggling with doing that properly. Why are you talking to a guy who's made it clear that this relationship isn't going to work out? Okay. So Samantha, I don't think there's any information for you to gather about him or learn about him. I think the only thing you should be doing is getting rid of him in your life so that he can't contact you anymore or send you any more of these stupid documents. Block him. So he can't send you dumb documents and he can't post stupid cryptic stuff on his store. What is this? Like, are you playing a game of Clue? What is this? So stupid. Samantha, block that man. Just so dumb. It's so dumb. Code words on his Instagram bio. So silly. Next we have here, Ivy. It's like Ivy from the chat. Okay. Let's see. Advice. So Ivy says, hi, Tomisin. I love your thoughts on a few things. Men often give me their phone number. My girlfriends tell me they do that because they are interested and want to move things forward without putting you in a position of giving out your personal information. Yes and no. Okay, yes and no. It respects your privacy and that they don't want to be pushy or creepy and putting you on the spot. What's your opinion on that? I'm old school. I feel like they should be asking for mine. That's why I say yes and no, because some guys, I know I've done this. Sometimes if I come to you as a guy and I tell you, I give you my number and I tell you to text me, by the time you text me, that's kind of like a confirmation to me that you like me. And it just helps me understand that I probably have to do a little bit less. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I give you my number and then you actually go out of your way to message me, that tells me that there's intention there and that you like me enough that you will do a little bit of pursuing of me. You want to keep your relationships, and I know that this sounds toxic, but you want to keep your relationships, especially as the woman, everything to be centered around him pursuing you, right? I know for some people would be like, that's so stupid. It doesn't really matter. But I do think that you're setting a precedent, okay? And I understand some guys might do it just because they want to make it easier on you. But I do think that it would be smart of you to challenge those men and say, if you want me, you go ahead and send me a message. Now, you get to make the choice. If you don't like a guy that asks for your number, then just give him a fake number or say no, right? You have a choice there. But if you do like a guy and you actually want him to text you, why not put him in a position where he has to be the one reaching out to you? That way you can ensure that the precedent continues to be set that if you want access to me, you're going to be the one that has to do the work. Okay? I know it sounds like I'm making it way more deeper than it actually is, but I'm telling you, this stuff sets a subconscious precedent in people's mind. I think so, at least. Some men say they like to date casually or like casual dates. Well, what does that really mean? Or like to see where it goes. I've always ignored those guys and not even given them a first chance. Do you agree? Yeah, because when a guy starts talking about how casual he wants stuff to be, that usually translates to I don't want to be intentional about you. Think about this. If a guy met his dream girl on the street, let's imagine a guy's dream girl is Kim Kardashian, and he really is in love with Kim Kardashian. He wants nothing more than to have an opportunity with Kim Kardashian. Do you honestly think if he met his dream girl and his dream girl was Kim Kardashian, he would say to her, I want to take things super casual with you, Kim Kardashian? I want us to be like as cool and casual on our dates as possible. No, he's going to apply the maximum amount of pressure because he's going to want so badly to be in this relationship with her. So I say that to say, when men are presenting you this idea, I want to take things casual, actually what he's saying is, I want to be very, 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 very unintentional about you and our relationship. So you not giving them a first chance is actually very smart on your part because you're wasting a lot less of your time. Okay. I'm in no contact with the guy. It's been 2 months. I unblocked him a while back to allow him to follow me again, should he choose. But he'd have to request a follow because my account is private, and he probably won't. Is there any advantage in making my Instagram public, or does it even matter? Initially, I blocked him simply because he was liking my posts and stories, and I was getting annoyed with his orbiting and breadcrumbs, and I just wanted to disconnect and have some privacy and space at that time. He's an Instagram addict on all day and at night. I know this because his is public, and just from when we were in contact. It would annoy me that he was always on Insta. When I say always, like I mean every 2 hours. I know he uses it for business, but still, he's addicted. Either way, I don't care, just mildly curious what you think. I think that if you don't like the guy and things didn't work out with the guy, I just don't see any reason to make your Instagram public when that's not you. Guys, I never advise you to go outside of yourself and be who you aren't. So if you're a private Instagram type of girly, be a private Instagram type of girly. Don't make your profile unprivate because you want a guy to see. Okay, be yourself. Okay, so Ivy, in your specific situation, don't make your Instagram profile public if that's not what you've been doing. And also, if he's an Instagram addict and you blocked him, then I can assure you, whether it be now or in a couple of weeks, he'll eventually realize that you unblocked him. He might wait a while, but if he's really an Instagram addict and he really wants to speak to you again, he'll follow you again to see if you'll allow him to follow you. Then you have a decision to make, and the decision is really yours. Okay. Also, see screen caps. This was after only 2 days of light chit chat with 2 new guys. Screenshots. Sorry, I call them screenshots. You said screen caps. I was like, what? I'm sitting back now, even if it doesn't work out, it's good practice. Thank you so much. I love you. We all love you. I love you all too. So you said, I'm just arriving at writing. Sorry, I'm not a great texter. I'm much better in person. That's when you get the person. You've literally been listening. Okay. So now he says, no problem. I don't love texting either. Right. And you said, I basically use it to schedule. He said, LOL, nice. Let's schedule. Then you said, I would love that. So now you actually did that. Guys, please go in I know you guys can't see this super properly, but please go into the Discord and screenshot this if you want a textbook answer on how you should do this, right? This is textbook. You see how she said, look, you ain't gonna get nothing from me over text. And he said, cool, I can acknowledge that. Then she said, yeah, I basically just use this to schedule. I'm not really, so don't be expecting nothing crazy. Now he says, I got a bright idea. Let's schedule. Then all you have to say, okay, love it. That sounds good. After that, let him go about it how he wants to go about it. This is textbook right here. So that's great job. Good day. How's it going today? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at texting. This is a different guy. So, okay. I'm really bad at texting. I use it for scheduling and planning just because I'm busy. I'm much better in person. Oh, no problem. I get it. Now, this is the thing. After he responds like this, you can't be feeling anxious and feeling like, okay, now I feel like maybe he doesn't like me because I said that. You just leave it there. I can assure you, when you leave it there, he'll come to the realization, let me bring up the bright idea of asking her out on a date so that we can actually see each other. Okay. The only type of guys that will be disappointed, like really disappointed in this, are the textaholic guys. The guys that just wanted to chit chat with you and be a pen pal with you and didn't really have any intention of actually seeing you. Those are the guys that are going to be disappointed in a message like this. The guys that already had intention of seeing you will just be like, okay, cool. Like, let's just plan the next date then instead of wasting time chit chatting. Okay. So you do a good job of literally like weeding out all of the men who are just going to waste time, text you a whole bunch, call you, never really actually do anything that builds the relationship. You just free yourself of wasting all of that unnecessary time, right? And you allow yourself to just only have time for the men who are going to be intentional, okay? And that's awesome. That's a perfect place for you to be. Don't ever get discombobulated or thrown out of whack if a guy responds to you in a not so positive way when you do this, because that just means he's probably a textaholic man and he's frustrated because he doesn't really want to go through the effort of actually seeing you in person. Think about it logically. If someone told him that, oh, I'm much better in person, but he already planned to see you in person, not a problem. But if someone tells him that you're much better in person, but he didn't really have too much plans of seeing you in person, now he's going to have a problem. So think about that, right? So good job, Ivy. This is textbook. For those of you who are wondering how to do it, go and look at Ivy's screenshots in her message, and that is exactly how you do it, because that will yield you the results that I know that you all want. All right. So that's the show for today. I hope you guys got some value out of that. If I didn't answer your question, don't fret. You'll get your question answered on future shows. I answer questions. They're part of every single show that we do here at the Players Club. Okay. So if you are wanting to follow me on Instagram because you want to see everything I'm doing, you want to get a little bit more personal with me, you want to see what I post when I go to the gym, all that good stuff, my Instagram is right above my head on the left side of the screen. Right there. It's my name. Just type it in. You'll find it. And it's right on the bottom right of the screen there if you want to follow my Instagram and see what I'm up to. If you are on TikTok and you want to rewatch the show in its entirety, maybe you came late and you missed some stuff and you want to be able to get all the amazing content of what the show is about, please just head over to my Instagram, head over to my YouTube page, and you'll be able to find this entire live stream in its entirety with all its glory and greatness, with the YouTube chat, because we got the YouTube chat here, and the TikTok chat embedded in the video, so you won't miss a beat. It'll be like you were right there. Okay, even better if you join me live though. But yes, you'll be able to find that there on my YouTube. So just type it in or screenshot that so that you can find the entire show there. Okay, so for those of you who are wondering what time exactly you can catch me live, you will catch me live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every weekday, Monday to Friday. So if you want to catch me live tomorrow, I'm going to be live tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Until then, arrivederci, au revoir, hasta la vista, adios, goodbye for now. And I will see you tomorrow. I love you. Me love you. Goodbye for now.